All right, the Reds, Brian Gallagher here from Edmonton Cop Talk. How he is getting on during this boring international break. So I'm going to do a video because there's not a lot to talk about until the weekend. I'm going to have my videos up for Sunday on Friday, hopefully. But yeah, I just want to talk about the first time I went over from Ireland to see Liverpool play. My father took me over for doing well on my exams. And we went with another guy and his son, his son was also a Liverpool fan. Um, my father's friend, they're actually good friends of ours. The McGills, he's a big United fan. But anyway, we went over to watch the Reds play Tottenham, and my father's actually a Spurs fan. So it was a great trip. And Anfield is quite was just kind of getting regenerated at that stage. They were making the Cop all cedar. It wasn't fully open. I remember that, and we flew over from Belfast. It was. We were in the ground super early. It was empty. It was amazing just seeing Anfield for the first time. It was still like very similar to what it would have been in the 80s. They hadn't even added on to the Anfield Road end, which they did in the late 90s, and now we're adding on to it again. But soon, hopefully. But that's another day's work. So yeah, it was just amazing seeing the pitch and walking out, and yeah, we were in the which is now the Sir Kenny Dalglish stand, lower deck, great seats, looking out onto the pitch, and Tottenham actually won 2-1. Klinsmann scored with a minute to go, so my father was delighted with that. He didn't jump up or cheer or anything, but there was a lot of older Liverpool fans around us, and they knew he was a Tottenham fan. I think they were used to people bringing their young fellas over from Ireland to watch football games. They'd seen it before, so they knew the deal. They didn't mind. He actually told them he was a Tottenham fan, and they were good with it. They just says on the way out of the stadium after we were beaten, they says, "Don't go and beat the Manx for us. Don't let the Manx win," they says to him. So it was brilliant. Liverpool were in transition. Roy Evans was the manager. We weren't that bad a team, but we weren't great. Not a patch on what we are today, or even like Rafa's Liverpool. Most of his team, apart from the last season, would have been a lot better than this side. But they're a team who gave their all. It was only 5 years since Liverpool were dominating English football as well. I remember Stig Inge Bjorneby played, and he got substituted with about 15 minutes to go, and they were all clapping him off, saying, "Well played, Stig." So that was it. That was the way it was. Even though they were used to all this success, they still, as long as the players played for the shirt and the badge, they were happy, and they'd clap you off the pitch. So yeah, Klinsmann scored in the last minute, as I said before, and just couldn't believe it. But it was such a great trip. It was unbelievable. And after the game, we got talking to this old Scouser guy. He was working for the St. John of Ambulance. I was talking away to him, and it was brilliant, very interesting guy. I said to him, is it hard with the team not doing as well as they did in the 70s and 80s, and well, yeah, 70s and 80s basically, till 1990, the last time we won the league. Still now, but whatever. And he goes, "No, I remember coming here in the old second division before Shankly arrived." And yeah, he'd seen it all, and that in a nutshell put it what it was to be like a Liverpool fan. You know what I mean? We support the team as well as we can when they're not doing great as well. So he was happy they were like playing top flight football, because they remembered them when they were in the old second division before Shanks came along. And that in a nutshell was what it was like. So to be a Scouser, you got to follow your team, and even when they're doing bad. Yeah, it was a great trip, and been over many times since, but not since 2011 when I was back on holidays from Canada. I was at the United Liverpool game. But yeah, so just thought I'd share that with you during this international break. We don't have a lot to talk about. So, okay, Reds. I'll see you later. Up the Reds.